name is Allison Greco, and I'm an inpatient speech-language pathologist, and I'd like to talk to you today about neuroplasticity. So our brain is made up of billions of nerve cells called neurons, and these neurons pass along information to each other through chemical and electrical signals. The information then communicates to different parts of the body to tell us how to act, think, and feel. These connections can be lost when the brain is injured, but luckily new connections can be formed. This process is called neuroplasticity. It's our brain's ability to change over time. So our brain changes during normal development across the lifespan. It's also when we learn new behavior patterns, such as playing a guitar, practicing over and over, learning a new language. And our brain also changes in response to an injury or disease. So the brain changes either structurally when neurons change. So these axons and dendrites, these branches and wires can change, or this insulation around the axon. And then also chemically when neurotransmitters change. The Brain-Derived Neurotrophic Factor, or BDNF, is a protein in the brain that is responsible for brain growth. It's vital for learning, memory, and synaptic plasticity. The BDNF is released in response to activity. This protein is stored in the wires of the cells, the axons and dendrites that I mentioned earlier, and they send and receive information between cells. The BDNF is the most abundant growth factor in the brain, and it's involved in long-term plasticity. And we can measure this via blood levels. So you may ask, what activities can affect BDNF? A decrease can be caused by chronic stress, depression, aging, or Alzheimer's dementia. And we don't want a decrease in BDNF. But fortunately, we can increase it through an enriched environment, exercise, antidepressants, or supplements such as a diet rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and vitamins. In learning about brain injury and recovery neuroplasticity, time is not of the essence. Forming new neural connections can occur at any point in the recovery process. After an injury, there's a period of time called spontaneous recovery, where one might see the most dramatic recovery in a short period of time. This does not mean that improvements cannot happen after the first 3 to 6 months. And this is where therapy comes in. The brain and its cells can self-repair and reorganize. Various therapy treatments can impact every aspect of function. And in order to make changes in the brain, there are 3 key elements to this. And the first is a repetition of a task. Doing a task over and over is helpful for that brain to make new connections. Also, the intensity level is something that you want to look at. You want to have a challenge. If you're repeating a task that is too easy, it won't help to make new neural connections. And then finally, consistency with a regimen. You want to continue a regimen over a course of time. You can't just do it for 3 days and then say, I've learned the task. You need to be consistent with the regimen. And this is where it's helpful to work with a therapist. You can make gains throughout lifetime. So it's important for someone to have their inpatient stay, outpatient stay, and then also continue with maybe a maintenance program and continue to work on your recovery throughout your lifetime. So this depends, what's prescribed to you depends on a variety of factors, and you may talk to your clinician or your therapist or doctor about what's best for you to provide enough of a challenge. So please talk to your provider specifically about what factors and plan of care are best for you. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out the other videos in our brain injury education series.